Welcome to MTG Profits Podcast, Episode 2, the podcast all about Magic the Gathering and making you money. My name is Andy, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Devin.
Hey, guys.
How you doing, Devin?
Doing well. Want to, before we get too deep into it, just wanted to mention we're working on our audio. We're hoping that this time we have a little bit of a better balance across the audio between the two of us. We're not sitting in the same room, so we're trying to record our stuff remotely, and as a subtle technical challenge for us, especially since we're new to this. But we hope this episode's a little bit better on the ears, so to speak.
Absolutely. So bear with us. Hang on. We're gonna get better every time. We promise. So we'll make sure to improve as we go, and it's only gonna get better.
Definitely.
So I think just a quick, brief summary. I mean, our object here is to talk about Magic the Gathering, talk about some news about that, talk about what we speculate as cards and what are good purchases for you to buy in Magic the Gathering, and tie all this information together with the financial aspect of Magic the Gathering, and relate that all back.
Yeah, I think that's a great summary. I think just to kind of review who we are, we've been playing for a long time, since the early to mid 90s, and so we have a bit of a historical perspective, and I think both of us don't have as much time to play as we'd like, but we still do enjoy the cards themselves, enjoy looking at them, and enjoy buying them, enjoying to a degree selling them, and this gives us a way to engage in the hobby in ways that we otherwise probably wouldn't if we didn't enjoy the financial aspect of the cards.
Absolutely. We're kind of been taking the game in a slightly different direction. Instead of becoming more playing as much, we're becoming more into the financial aspect of it. So for today, I think we're going to have a special episode, and we're going to probably continue this going forward, where we'll concentrate one episode more on the news and what's in the news in Magic, and have some picks, and then coming back to alternating with other episodes that'll be more on a standard topic, as well as with picks as well. Because there's always news going on, there's always something happening, and there's always new sets, there's new products, there's everything you can think of. So we've got a couple different news items to cover today to talk about. I think first thing on the list was some price changes here. I think you were telling me about this, Dev.
We've had, with the elimination of Wizards direct shipping to stores, they two things happened at essentially simultaneously on September 1st. So on September 1st, Wizards of the Coast stopped shipping booster boxes in the form of I can't remember the booster boxes. They come in 6 packs. I can't remember the term I'm looking for. But essentially, Wizards would sell local game stores boxes of boosters in increments of 6 booster boxes, and you could essentially order them directly from Wizards at a very fixed cost that was between $75 and $77 per booster box. And they announced.
You mean the stores? You're talking about the stores.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So local game stores could order. Yeah. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah.
Local game stores could order a case of cards, and that's what I was looking for earlier. Is they could order cases directly from Wizards, and a fixed amount. They would allow stores based on their WPN level to order a certain amount of cases. If you had a low level, you could order a few cases. If you had a higher level, you could order more. And there were some limits on that, but it did allow local game stores to buy a relatively small amount of product at a very fixed price, and they always knew what that price was going to be. And that worked out pretty well for the game stores. And Wizards has announced that they effectively will no longer be doing direct shipping to stores, and that they will only send product through their distributors to the local game stores. Which is a little bit of a problem for the game stores, I think, just because the prices from the distributors typically are a couple of dollars more, and especially when you buy in relatively low volume. So, you might be able to buy a box from Wizards for $77 a box, but buying that same box from a distributor, if you're a low volume store, might cost you anywhere between $82 and $84. And so there's always a little bit of a difference there. And to sort of add insult to injury, not only did Wizards stop direct shipping to stores, but they also, at the exact same time, increased the cost to distributors by a relatively substantial amount. It's the largest increase that they've had in per-box pricing since the game's inception. They had changed the cost per booster box by about $5. So what they usually used to charge distributors a fixed amount for is now $5 higher. So that means not only will they be cutting out the direct shipping to local game stores, so local game stores will have to buy them through the distributors, but also the cost has gone up again, about $5 a box. So that doesn't seem like a huge deal, but I know the LGSs struggle to honestly profit by selling the cards in some cases.
Probably very slim margins on some of that.
Very, very much so. Very much so.
So it sounds like, So it sounds like Wizards then is kind of squeezing both the distributors and the local game stores with this move.
Yeah, I think for sure the LGSs are the ones that are going to suffer the most on this one. I don't know that the distributors are going to. I think in some cases it's actually good for the distributors, just because then the game stores will have to buy more product through the distributors. So I think the distributors probably enjoy this move. I think the game stores probably dislike it for somewhat obvious reasons, and I think it's kind of unfortunate, really, for a small local game store that may only buy 4 cases of product. They may only buy 24 boxes, and then move on to the next product. Especially with the product release cycle being so frequent, I think it makes it tough. I think for the local stores to navigate that. I think it's going to get tougher for them. So I don't really anticipate that changing the prices of singles as much. I think single cards are the market really determines their cost more so than the wholesale cost. But again, it's just another place for the LGS to get squeezed, and I think it's a tough business to be in right now if you're an LGS.
So you think if you're just a customer of an LGS, you're probably going to be unaffected by this?
Yeah, I don't think this is really going to affect your bottom line. Certainly not as a singles buyer. I don't really anticipate that affecting the price of singles at all. Or if so, it'll be so negligible as to not be noticeable.
What if I buy a booster? You think that's going to...
I'm not sure. I think what's the MS... I really don't think so. I think the problem with the boosters is the MSRP on a booster box is like $144. So I don't think the MSRP is changing at all. No one's really buying boosters at MSRP unless you're buying them at Walmart or things of that nature. I think people are not paying $4 a booster box realistically. So I don't think it's going to affect the end user. I really don't think it'll affect the buyer much at all. I think it's really just going to affect the local game store primarily.
Huh. Did Blizzard say anything about why they were doing this? Did they give any reason, or just
no? I think they probably they probably figured it was a good time to do it, and I think there's probably a couple of reasons. I think they could always point to tariffs increasing as they could say, oh, our costs are going up, and therefore we've got to pass those costs on. I think that may be part of it. I think they may just be after a few more bucks a box. I think an incremental increase might have been nicer than such a substantial one. Again, $5 doesn't seem like much, but but if you're selling a booster box online and making $3 a profit, you just actually went negative. So I think it's, I can't, who knows the reasons at Wizards. I would imagine they just want to make more money.
Things, seem beyond reason at times.
Yeah, I think realistically they probably figured it's a good time to do it.
Yeah.
So. And
this was just on the booster boxes, right?
Correct.
Not other product.
No, as far as I know, it's just going to be the booster boxes.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So that's one, I guess, unfortunate piece of news, but it is what it is.
Well, it seems, prices always seem to be going up, and Wizards definitely wants their money, so that certainly hasn't stopped them.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yep.
think maybe the second piece of news might be a little bit more interesting. I think this is your news bite here. This is
well, yeah, I think, we
booster
were honestly just talking about this right before we started recording about, the buzz now is with the Guilds of Ravnica coming out soon. And there's been news all about, the box, what the boxes are going to look like, the promos and all this sort of stuff. And there was an announcement about the Guilds of Ravnica Mythic Edition. And I guess this was mentioned on social media recently, but that they were going to be trying something new. And part of this Mythic Edition, which will be only purchasable through the Hasbro Toy Shop, will be a 24-pack box of Guilds of Ravnica, with the twist that 8 packs will come with one of these special Planeswalker cards. Something new that they're trying out. And then these are going to be going for about $250. So with a limit of 2 per customer.
pretty pricey. Pricey big box there. Not even a 36 pack. Not even a 36 pack box.
Yeah,
just 24. Okay.
Yeah, 24.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Have you ever tried to use the Hasbro website?
I've never tried it. No? Is it pretty bad?
It's pretty bad. So I think it'll be a challenge for people to get their booster boxes just because of how abysmal the. It looks like it's something that came out of the early 90s. It's
so it's just very old.
It's pretty
old
rough.
Site and not.
Yeah, I would imagine the big rush is going to prevent a lot of people. It'll probably cause their site to crash. They'll struggle to actually sell those booster boxes.
Oh, God.
But that's, again, sounds like another slap into the face to the LGSs because, again, they say, well, we've got a super premium product, $250 with desirable artwork on these Planeswalkers. And the artwork is great, I will say.
Looking at the artwork, I mean, it looks amazing. I like it. It just looks really nice. I mean,
it does. It looks like what they're doing in probably some other card games, like some of these Bushi Road games and the Force of Will, where it's like a very full art experience. There's limited card frame, no card frame. It's really
exactly.
It really is very art centric, and so I think it's a great alter. It almost looks like an altered art. It almost looks like an alteration.
Yeah, exactly. So these aren't anything new either, right? I mean, these Planeswalkers are all ones that have already been printed before.
Yeah, the reprints.
Yeah, we got Elspeth, Knight Errant, Tezzeret, Agent Bolas, Liliana, the Last Hope, Nicole Bolas, Planeswalker. I mean, they're not new cards.
Yeah. I don't mind the idea of a super premium alternate art product. I like the idea that you can have the cheaper version and the more expensive version. I think that's, so you don't have to have the expensive version to play. Although, I just disagree with the way they're going about it. I really feel it would have been better if they could have gone through LGSs for this. But, again, they're just going for maximum profit, I think, realistically.
Yeah, they bypassed the LGSs.
Bypass the distributors, bypass everybody, and just collect that money right up front.
I mean, $250, that's really steep.
It really is. Do you see yourself buying a box of this, Andy?
No, I would not.
Yeah, that's a hard.
I love like you said, I love the art. It looks really nice. It's the kind of the full frame and much more specialized. I'd love to have some of those Planeswalkers, but I don't think I'm really willing to spend $250 to do it.
Yeah, I agree. It's a hard pass for me as well.
Yeah.
To boot, I think it's even extra insulting where they're only giving you, it's only a 24-pack box, and it's not 24 plus 8, it's, 16 regular packs plus 8 special packs or whatever. So.
Yeah, so let's see. So, $250. Let's see, you usually would do an 8-person draft. So, even if you came and you divided it all up among your friends, you're still paying about $31 each to get your packs and contribute, which is I just don't see it. I just don't see it being a very valuable experience personally, but no. I think I would. Do you think these are going to go for a substantial premium for, the singles of these planes?
I think they'll probably end up selling for about what those packs will be divided out. So, those packs will probably sell for, $12 a pack or $20 a pack or something like that. I think realistically what will happen is the first people that rush to the website and actually successfully complete purchase, I think on the secondary market, the booster boxes will sell probably at above MSRP temporarily, and then I think they'll correct their technical difficulty selling the product, and then a second wave will probably come out that'll drop down to about MSRP. I don't think there's any real collectability in these other than the alternate art Planeswalkers, but I think most people would probably just be wise if they really want the alternate art just to buy them on the open market. Just to buy the individual cards they want, just to pimp out their decks or things of that nature. But again, I don't like the desperate cash grab sort of feel that this has. I don't like how they're not selling it through the local game store, so I wouldn't. And it's an expensive product, so I really can't get behind it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think it does feel very, intentionally cash grab kind of situation where we just want more money. It's not exactly new. It's the same cards, just reprinted, and you're getting less with it, pack wise.
Yeah, it's just bad all around. It's just bad feels.
I don't know. I agree with you. I could see wanting some of these just for a collector's standpoint, where I want the alternate art and I'll put it in my binder and then forget about it. But
maybe in your EDH deck or something.
Yeah, your EDH or something. I mean, I don't know.
But last, I guess, third piece of news that we've got is something interesting. If you're going to open any booster packs from Core 19, try to grab those booster packs from the right side of the box. Apparently, and I had heard this on MTG Perp had that he's now called the Magic Historian. He has a video about this, and apparently the Redditors have confirmed this to a degree as well. That apparently when you open a box of Core 19, just take all the packs from the right side, as they are the ones that are primarily going to contain the mythics. So when you're looking for dollar value on the packs, the right side of the box is where you want to go, followed by the left side, and the center of the box is particularly poor. So avoid the center. And again, this just sort of is just for our listeners, because you don't want to buy loose packs for Core 19. Mm-hmm. This happened a while back in Eldritch Moon. You absolutely did not want to buy loose packs, and I think Core 19 is another example of that, because if you were going to open boxes upon boxes, if you were going to open 10 boxes of Core 19, you're going to take all the right side and sell all the loose packs from the left side and the middle. Back in Eldritch Moon, the box mapping was similar but different. It was actually based on the cover art from the booster packs. Oh. So, if you had Liliana, the Last Hope or whatever, and you popped open her and you found a mythic in there, you'd open all the Liliana's packs on the cover art of those packs, and all the mythics, or the vast majority of the mythics, I think actually all of them, were going to be inside those packs. So, so buying loose boosters on that was folly as well. So just a heads up for people. Don't buy any loose boosters for Eldritch Moon or Core 19. That's and if you were feeling extra shady, you could buy a box of Core 19, open all the right side, and sell all the rest of the booster pack. Yeah, and the problem is really not individuals, but again, large mass box openers.
Sure, yeah.
Like certain LGSs may pull all the. They may open a box, put it on display, pull out all the right side, scatter the rest of the packs in there, even it out. Could,
kind of repack the box, I guess.
Yeah, or at least control to some degree.
Kind of reorder the box, I guess.
Yeah, reorganization. But
so is this just like a mistake in the printing? Is that just?
It has something to do with the way the Wizards does their track printing. They use tracks that effectively all the rares and all the mythics come out on these little tracks. They just have to for organizational purposes, and that's how they end up. The reason they have this track printing is so that each box of cards gets a certain amount of mythic rares.
There's certain ratios.
Yeah, you're typically going to open like 3 to 5 mythic rares in a box. 5 if you're very lucky, 3 if you're, more typical, maybe slightly unlucky. But the way they do that is by this track printing, so that every so often, a mythic pops down, and so the way apparently the way they counted out the mythics in the set, it didn't allow for enough randomization, so that once a mythic popped down and it would pop on that right side of the box, chances are the next one was going to pop on the right side of the box too. So it's just something for people to be aware of. Avoid loose packs for Core 19 and Eldritch Moon.
Yeah, that's interesting. You just didn't think that would happen, but I guess.
They try not to do that, but they try not to make mistakes like that, obviously, but apparently they don't try hard enough. So, it's a hassle. So we'll talk about box mapping in the future as well. It's something that's been out there for years, and there are the box mappers used to be kind of out in the open, and they would collect information from the public about what was in what packs, and they effectively have gone underground at this point. So now that it's done more secretively, and you sort of, you end up having to buy your way into this to these groups that do this. But it's something that exists. So that's part of the reason. Yeah, it's a legitimate problem. So but this, when it's blatant like this, and anybody can do it, it makes it so easy. You don't even have to necessarily, have overt nefarious intent. You may be the guy working at the game store thinking, well, things are tight. Let me go ahead and pull all these packs from this right side. We'll open these up and sell the singles from it, and then we'll just sell the boosters, or we'll use those boosters and draft all the residual ones. Yep. So, again, just something to be aware of. I don't think people are necessarily going out and doing this to shaft other people, especially LGSs, but it's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And, if you're going to buy packs from a booster box from the LGS, ask them for one from the right side. So.
Exactly, and to point, just to give a little test of this information, strictly very not quite scientific test. I actually did go to a local game store a couple weeks ago, and they had a big box of Core Set 2019 sitting on the counter, and I grabbed one pack from the left side. It was a Johnny on the cover, and then one pack from the right side. And
you should have gone all right.
I know, I should. Well, I wanted to have two, though, for comparison. Because I think, like you said, it was... The right side was the preferred side.
The primo side, yep.
The left side, followed by the left side.
That's correct.
And then the middle was the worst. The worst of the bunch. So I'm going to open this pack here of Johnny. I told Devin earlier that I've been staring at these 2 packs of cards for weeks now. And it's driving me crazy because they're just looking at me, and I can't help but want to tear them open.
Andy loves opening packs. He has a hard time letting them sit on the shelf.
I do, and time and again, and I think we both, and probably all of you out there too. You always hope for the best, and I always look at it like opening up like a lottery ticket or something.
A scratch off.
Yeah, scratch off, and that'll get something. But 9 times out of 10, I'm thoroughly disappointed.
I've been burned so many times. I've gotten over the call to crack that pack.
Yeah.
I almost feel I would prefer looking at those sealed booster boxes.
Prevent the disappointment.
Exactly.
That's what it's going to be.
So now you're cracking the left.
Okay.
Left
so I opened up the left side pack. This is the Ajani. So I'm going to just quickly run through what's in the pack here. We got trusty pack beasts.
Maybe just hit us with maybe just the uncommons and the rares. Maybe.
All right. I'll go quick. I'll probably. Omen Speaker, Titanic Growth, Infectious Horror, Snapping Drake, Gearsmith Guardian, Druid of the Cowl, Smelt. Lich's Caress, Gallant Cavalry. Okay, here's the uncommons. Ravenous Harpy. Okay. Draconic Disciple. Colossal Majesty. Okay. And we're at the rare. And the rare is Mentor of the Meek, and
Okay, so that's like a 20-cent rare.
It is not worth very much. This is a
rare.
reprint. Yeah. I mean, it's a decent card. I do like it. It's not worth really any money, but.
All right, good luck on your right side pack.
So right side pack. So this one should be. So let's see, core set 19. So what are we? We're looking maybe for. Well, any of the planeswalkers I think would be fine for this.
Take any mythic.
Any mythic. Well, there's probably some bad ones in there.
Yeah, there's always some bad ones.
Yeah. So we've got Sarkhan is on the cover here. So let's see what's going on in this pack. So hopefully something better. So I'll go quick through the comments. Uncomfortable Chill, Goblin Motivator, Daybreak Chaplain, Greenwood Sentinel, Mind Rot, Manolith, Abnormal Endurance, Ghost Form, Angel of Dawn, Aviation Pioneer. Okay. Uncommons. Now we start to pay a little more attention here. Fountain of Renewal. Okay. Make a Stand. Plague Mare, the whole horse series here from 19. Okay, and then the final rare is Lena, Selfless Champion.
Oh, I'm not even aware of what that one is.
She's one of these knights. There's a big theme here in M19 with the knights. She's a knight legend. 3/3. She's a white card. 4 colorless, 2 white mana. When Lena, Selfless Champion, enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token for each non-token creature you control. Sacrifice Lena. Creatures you control with power less than Lena's power gain indestructible until end of turn.
Okay. Well, it would have been nice to pop a mythic, but you can't win them all.
It would have. Yep. It would have. It was to be basically expected. I really think that would be. Her average price is a whopping 38 cents. So
that's what I would expect.
Exactly. She's not a terrible card. Just not really worth anything.
Well, speaking of good cards, maybe we should move on to our maybe some of our picks here.
Sure, yeah. So what we talked about in the first episode, we had a couple picks, and I think we're going to stick for M19 for the moment.
I'm gonna probably have to let you do that. I'm not as up on the most common standard cards, and so for Dominaria M19, I think I'm a little bit behind, but I do have a couple of picks they're not actually specifically from that set.
Well, why don't you? We can alternate here. I'm going to stick to M19, and are you going to stick to one particular set, or are you going to?
What I'm going to do, did you want to give each, maybe two of our picks and then maybe a bonus pick, I think?
Sure. We'll do two picks and a stretch pick.
Yeah. All right. Did you want me to start with mine?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, one of my, I guess, this is a relatively old card, and, it was originally printed in Ravnica and was reprinted more recently in Iconic Masters. It's a great card. It's a sorcery that we all know and love. It's Glimpse the Unthinkable.
Oh, yeah.
So Glimpse the Unthinkable is a sorcery that says it's a mill 10 cards. And, historically, great card. It's always been a little bit high up there. It's only had 2 printings, and part of the reason for my pick of this card is that its original printing was back in the original Ravnica. It's been a while, and again reprinted in Masters or Iconic Masters, and so there's not a whole lot of packs of the Iconic Masters floating around. They're more expensive packs, so those are MSRP $9.99 per booster pack or whatever, and Glimpse the Unthinkable now can be had for a sub $4, so we're looking at $3.75.
That's great.
And, so that's one of my picks for things that I think are a safe bet for increasing in price. I think Iconic Masters is sort of the hype is over. The hype train is over. I don't think people are opening many packs anymore. The packs are more expensive, so I don't anticipate there being as many Iconic Masters rare floating around as, say, Amonkhet or Ixalan or things of that nature. So that's
Yeah.
my
I love
that's probably my
Books of the
number one pick.
Thinkable. That was something I always wanted to pick up and always wanted to build with, but the price always kind of turned me
It's a
off.
little prohibitive, yeah. And now
Yeah.
you get them, like I said, you get them for under $4 now. So
I mean,
now
that's
I
really
think
powerful card too.
really is. You get something that copies that or forks it or whatever, and you're in good shape. But so that's my
Nice.
I think
nice.
probably my pick of the week. And I have another one as
Books of
well.
the
but,
Unthinkable.
yeah,
Okay.
Glimpse of the Unthinkable. Yeah, that's one of them. Sub
So,
$4. You get it for below
$4.
$4. That's a buy in my book.
Nice. I'm gonna go a little bit of the opposite direction. We're gonna go with something new. I've been really looking over M19 here recently just to see what's would be good and what seems like some good things to pick up. One thing I was looking at earlier, and I was just thinking about this, and I try to kind of think more on a cheaper scale too. That if you could pick it up pretty cheaply. I was looking at the Metamorphic Alteration, and kind of what made me think about this too was I know there's been kind of an increase lately in the what's it called, the Phantasmal Illusion.
The two mana clone.
Exactly, which is a great card. I love that
is.
card. I'd love to pick that up, but once again, that's a little pricey. I think it's around 14 or so now.
Yeah, I picked up a bunch of those at around $2.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
now
about a year ago.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That is awesome. See, this is another one of these copy type spells. But what struck me is it's only 2 mana. It's an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. When it comes into the battlefield, choose a creature. Enchanted creature is a copy of that chosen creature. So basically, you're getting a copy of a creature. It makes an assumption that you already have a creature in play, but
that's easy enough to do.
That's easy. You're probably going to have a creature. So you're going to get, with this, the best creature on the board.
Yeah, for 2 mana is a pretty good deal.
For 2 mana. Or you could even use that offensively, and you could enchant somebody else's creature and make it a copy of your worst creature, perhaps.
It's really good. It's got a lot of utility.
So you get some flexibility either way. And I kind of like these cards like this because, like I just said, it's flexible. No matter what the situation is, someone's just drops a huge bomb. Oh, I can just make a copy of it. And for 2 mana,
it's got a lot of utility.
Really be beat.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
That's
a great pick.
And bonus on that one too, this is super cheap. We're talking average price right now, 43 cents. Even if I think it could fit in almost any blue deck. I mean,
you really can't go wrong with that. It's almost like pseudo removal. If somebody's got a huge beater out there, you turn it to something terrible.
Turn into the 1/1.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a really, really useful card. Yeah, can't go wrong with that. I agree. I think it's a great choice. Yeah, it's a great choice.
So what's your next pick?
So my next pick is it's a little bit of a cheater pick, but it's almost like a two in one. But
sure.
It's
not a double-sided card, is it?
No, I'm not a huge fan of those, but not that I don't like them from a money standpoint. I just don't like them thematically. But so my second pick for the week is Inspiring Vantage. And the reason it's a little bit of a cheater pick is I also want to include Concealed Courtyard in that pick. They're essentially the same thing. They're the fast lands from Kaladesh. So the Inspiring Vantage is the red-white one. Concealed Courtyard is the white-black one. These cards I love. I love them at around $1. So these cards you can get them for around $1. When you can get them for below $1.20. These are a buy every time. They come down untapped if you have 2 or fewer lands. And the beauty of these cards is you love rare lands that do not come into play tapped. And these are very modern playable. And in most cases, a modern deck is going to want to be up and running, by the 3rd turn anyway. So you want these cards to come down untapped. And the card's just rotated, so the Kaladesh is on its way out. It's either rotated or about to rotate. But so the cost is
dropping.
Yeah, the cost is about to be as low as it can get. And I think the prices are only going to go up from here. So my second pick is the Fast Lands from Kaladesh. Right now, the cheapest ones are Inspiring Vantage and Concealed Courtyard.
Cool. Yeah, I think lands like that are always... There's always going to be some value to that.
Yep. Especially untapped lands. And all you need is a deck to take off that does not yet exist. All you need is them to print some good Boros card, which could easily happen with this return to Ravnica or whatever they're calling it, and the guilds. And all of a sudden they print out some new Boros stuff or some new Orzhov stuff, and before you know it, in Modern, these cards go from $1 to $5 or $1 to $6. I could easily see it happening. So that's my second pick for the week.
Nice. Yeah. I think, lands are a good way to go. There's a lot of opportunity. I know, so many good cards here in M19. It's hard picking, but for the next one, I'm going to go with one. It's a little more pricey, but I think it definitely has some good value. The Goblin Trashmaster.
Yeah.
He's never been printed before. He's original. This is one of the biggest tribes there is, the Goblins. He could fit into any Goblin deck. I like him for two reasons. One, he's a lord, essentially a lord. He gives other Goblins +1/+1. Which, I think any cards like that, these Lord cards have a certain value to them. Because when that tribe takes off, you're going to want Lords. And he's a good one. And he's a cheap one, too. Some of these older Lords are far more expensive. And his other ability is very good, too. Sacrifice a Goblin to destroy target artifact.
Nice.
I mean, that's great value right there. I mean, and there's no cost to do that. Just sacrifice a Goblin.
Excellent.
He himself is a 3/3, which is okay. He's 4 mana total. A little pricey, maybe. But, overall...
He's on the high end of your curve.
On the high end of the curve there. Maybe not the very first Lord you want to put in. But you certainly could have some utility with that destroying a target artifact ability. And, being a Lord and giving +1/+1, another Lord doesn't hurt either with your Goblins.
That's right.
Especially, I guess this would probably be more for Standard, but, I'm sure you could probably find a home in many different Goblin decks.
Yep. I think that's true.
And
you don't know what they're going to reprint or what they're going to print in the new sets as well. So
exactly. I mean, I think that's a safe bet too. These major tribes like Elves, Goblins, there's going to be more of them. There's going to be more cards printed. Yep. You're going to want Lords for them, one way or another. I think you can't go wrong with that. And right now, he's only averaging about $1.
So that's your price below. That's the price you like to pick him up at.
I try to go as cheap as possible. When we're getting into several dollars for a card, then it starts getting a little bit more dicey of whether I want to pick it up, because now, if you're talking $3, $4, $5, you're spending more to get a complete play set, which you still, can't say with complete confidence on that where it's gonna go. Although, you can make some educated guesses.
Sure.
But, with a lower price point, I can certainly get more of that card.
That's right.
And, if it doesn't go anywhere, it's not a huge loss. And also, even a side bonus of that, on a card like this, even if it doesn't go anywhere, I could still find a home for it in some deck, because it's a great card.
Yeah, that works.
So you had a stretch, a bonus pick.
Yeah. So I have a little bit. I'm thinking out of the box for my stretch pick here.
Okay.
I guess I'm actually thinking of a box. So my stretch pick is Iconic Masters Booster Box. So right now, I think we have reached what I would consider a capitulation point on these boxes. The sealed product, I tend to, or at least historically, have done a little bit more of the sealed product purchase and reselling. And I feel that right now, The Iconic Masters booster boxes are actually a buy at at sub 140. So
Okay.
below $140, I think, is not a bad time to start picking up these Iconic Masters booster boxes. They got hammered hard initially. So when they came out, there was a lot of people just complaining about the cards, and they've apparently large distributors have sort of started to finish selling these, like the Sports and More on eBay and things of this nature. The bottom bargain basement price seems to have crept up a little bit, and I think it's a good sign for these boxes. Part of the reason that I like this box more than the Masters 25 is honestly quite simply that some of the best cards in this box are not mythic rares. So the best card in this box is Horizon Canopy. It's $60 a card, printed at rare.
Wow,
the second best is Mana Drain at 57.
Okay.
However, you've got Ether Vial is rare at 35.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Cryptic Command is rare at 25.
Okay.
And then you've got Avacyn, Angel of Hope, which is mythic. Then Grove of the Burn Willows, rare. Thoughtseize, rare. Flusterstorm, rare. So out of like the first 6 or 7, 5 of them are rare, and 2 of them are mythic, which means that you are far, far more likely to actually pull some value out of those packs when you open them. So it's brutal when all the value in a box is locked up in the mythic slots, because you may not pull that Jace out of Masters 25. And I tell you, if you don't pull Jace, you lost money on that Masters 25 box. So I think realistically, you can't go wrong at under 140. You know, it may take a couple of years, but I think you're going to be in good shape on these. I think you really would probably do well at if you can get them to like ship for like 135, 137. I think you're in good shape to sit on these. So, got a couple of decent, even a couple of decent uncommons, like the Mishra's Bauble is in this thing for $4. The Thran Dynamo, Lightning Helix. So, a couple of decent uncommons as well. But I like that you don't have to have mythics to break even on these boxes.
Yeah, you can't really count on the mythics.
Nope, surely not.
Chance on the rares.
Absolutely. So that's my stretch.
Remind me, when did Iconic Masters come out?
Oh my goodness, I want to say, good grief, has it been a year? I don't know. Probably hasn't even been a year. I don't think so. It's tough to say. It seems to me like Iconic Masters and Masters 25 seem to be like they were not far apart. I agree. It seemed like they were, but again, the product cycle is so rapid fire. It's really, Wizards is coming at you with product after product after supplemental product and core products and, standard products. They're really just hitting you hard. So it's relentless. It's hard to keep track, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, it looks like it came out last November.
Okay, so it was almost a year ago.
Yeah. Nice. So definitely worthy pickup.
Yeah, pay attention. Might not be bad.
Yeah, no, definitely. My last stretch pick here, and I don't think this is going to be you're not going to get a huge, giant, profit off of this, but I could definitely see this making some profit. And the appeal to me here comes in the current price on it. So I was looking at this from Core Set 19. This is a red card. It's called Double Cast.
Okay.
And it's 2 red mana. Basically, it copies your next instant or sorcery spell. There's never been a red card like this. I think blue has a couple cards like it, but there's no other sets of printing of this particular card, I should say. So it's fairly cheap casting cost. It copies another instant or sorcery, which you're probably going to be playing a lot of, being a red deck. Bonus here, 24 cents. I mean, this is really, really cheap. I mean, it really had a high price. I don't see this, going to a $5 card or anything like that. But I can certainly see this going up to maybe 75 cents.
Something like that.
Maybe $1. This, I guess what appealed to me when I looked at this was just how cheap it was. I mean, we're talking, around between 20 and 30 cents. I mean, I would grab a bunch of these, just because it's so cheap.
Excellent. Yeah, it's like fork. Very similar.
Exactly, like fork.
Yeah.
I think anything that I could almost see this being a rare card. I was kind of surprised that it was an uncommon.
Huh. Yeah, it's definitely worth keeping an eye on that.
Really good for just an uncommon.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess the bonus, the slightly detractor on it, that is a sorcery. But I still think the value of the card. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Seems really good for 2 mana.
Yeah, not bad.
But that's my cheapo pick.
Yeah, hey, that's what the stretch picks are for.
Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. Well, I think that's probably gonna about wrap it up for this episode, and we'll be coming at you soon with more, hopefully more interesting content, interesting picks.
Absolutely. There's more to come. We'll be back for our next episode. Maybe not so much more news, but we'll have a little bit of news. Get back to some more picks for you and more about some other aspects of Magic the Gathering and finances and all that other great stuff.
All right. Very good. Well, good chat with you.
All right, guys. Good
talk
chat.
to you soon.
We'll catch you later.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.